Good morning, everyone. Not much longer. It's 11:37 on the clock, which is justice and alignment, the 37 of the King of Cups, which is unconditional love, and the 3 keys of alchemy. Beautiful day outside. I have 2 of my messages of the day, as well as the abbreviated twin flame read on the table. I want to pull one of the Crystal Angels cards for you and give you my message from this morning as well. And before I forget, as I was getting ready for this video, 2 songs came in, and one was Lean on Me. I started humming and singing, lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your strength. And now you can look up the words. You just call on me, brother, to lend you a hand. So again, look up the lyrics if you'd like to, unless you remember all the lyrics yourself. The other thing that just came up was I just kept hearing in the background, row, 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 and there was row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Okay, so I'm going to pull a Crystal Angels card for you, and then we'll take a few deep breaths. And we'll get into the message from today and the others as well. And we have Larimar coming up, which is actually this stone right here with my other special stone that fit together perfectly. The 2 stones, and actually the word Tor came up, T-O-R, again, a bundle of rocks at the top. That message will come in as well today. So Larimar, this was actually broken down the other day as well. It says sensitive emotions, times of heightened emotions and sensitivity call for extra self-care and gentleness with yourself. The bottom of the deck, in case you're curious, is clear quartz, which is the energy that resonates with the human and water. That says let yourself feel all of your emotions. Your entire rainbow spectrum of feelings is sending you important messages and guidance. So let's go ahead and take a few deep breaths. Take a deep breath. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath. I'm getting really honed in focus on the earth. Sending lots of blessings and love out to you guys. I hope you're having a beautiful day. And like I said, it's beautiful and sunny out today. Go ahead and move that. So I'm going to roll the die first and then get into my message from today. It was actually from a few cards I pulled just before I went to bed last night, which was actually in today's date, the 17th, which is the star. Today adds up to 32, which is the 6 of Wands, the journeyman. And I was getting called to put a lot of earth energy on. A turquoise came up for me as well. And I actually put on my stones from the Israeli wall that my dad brought home for me, probably, I don't know, 40 years ago. And I have my turquoise on as well from the natives in Arizona. So a lot of, and I'm wearing a very deep green shirt. So there's a lot of earth energy coming in here to ground. All right, so let's see what the die has for us today. So for twin flames, we have the 3, Mother Nature, the Empress, Taurus energy, the energy of abundance. 3 is also about siblings, the 3rd house. of coming together, socializing. We have the sun here as well, the singularity, the Leo energy that we're still in. And then we also have, which is of course the child and the leadership energy, and Lionsgate, which we just went through. And like I said, there was just a cry out yesterday for closing the gate. We have the energy of Sagittarius here, the Archer. So very much about curiosity and higher learning. That fiery energy that's coming up with the Aries North Node, and then in Leo along with the Archer, which is coming up as the bridge between the, we have Taurus here and Sagittarius here and Leo in the middle. So mutable, fixed, and fixed. So right, that's going to be a struggle. I was just looked right at the Five of Wands over here, and the Magician's reversed right here. You know, that struggle with the fixed energies, right? Mutable is very go-between, very flexible, and then two mutables who bring very stubborn. And fire, so still in a lot of fire with Taurus, causing it to be more stubborn or fixed, which can be an advantage in some, you know, and follow through in projects and things like that. So let's see how this all comes up for us. So first, the cards that I pulled last night from the Fortunes Oracle. The underlying energy was the Star card here. And again, the energy of Sirius, the blue star, that mother star, clear skies, hard times are over, looking forward to an abundance of happiness, enthusiasm, and positivity. It's the number 29, which is the Three of Wands, being present in the moment, to your gifts and the present moment. And the cards that came out in this order. So first, the Wish card, 35, which is the Wounded Warrior. In surrendering, I'll let you know how I translated in just a second, but your heart's desire is ready to come true. The 30 of the Four of Wands, which is home and union, the sunflowers, opening your heart to the enormous growth ahead. You see very illuminated yellow energies popping up here. And the proposal of the 27, the Ace of Wands, the new passion of the surrender, the union, the proposal of the Queen's Gambit, the Vesica Pisces coming up again with the two rings, and a romantic or business opportunity is indicated. And then the cracker, the fireworks, the 7 of the Chariot, which is also the key, right? The vehicle of ascension. And again, the 7 is part of the 27 of the Queen's Gambit, right? The 2 is the Q, and then the 7 fills in the other circle, the Queen's Gambit, or the pawn, which comes up in the message today. So again, the fireworks, but also the flares, the natural fireworks, the shooting stars, all of that energy is coming up here. This union, right? The supernova moment here of coming together as the heart opens, right? The heart squared becomes the open book, right? Connecting to the sun's rays, the radiant sun, the radiant love of 2 as 1, and that supernova moment of the Chariot here, right? And then Cinderella's Chariot's been coming up all week. So from those cards, what came up in my message this morning was today, of course, again with the Wish and the Star being the underlying energy, and today's the 17th, which is the Star, the Sirius gate closing, and then the blue mother was coming up along with the white and gold Christ vibration of the Father and Son. And the numbers literally came up, the 3 of the Empress and then 29, which is 3 to 9, which is that 369 energy coming up of soaring across the 33 bridge, and 33 is 6, of the 369. The blue mother is coming up as the blue and green mother, right? Mother Nature is not just the earth, but everything else as well, except for that channeled energy from the Father energy. So the energy of the sun and the rays coming out, reaching out to the mother, and then the womb, which the rays then reach out from the womb, the child, to the father type of energy here, right? The daughter and the sun, the moon being the daughter energy. So we have the 3D, 4D, 5D also represented here, but of the 3, 6, and 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11, 12 with the 6D, because that's very much in play. As the heart awakens and glows, the heart squared becomes an Akashic record, a living record. The rings of your tree, your tree, referencing your body as the tree, of the sun and the union, of wounds and surrender, of going home to two rings together. The 27 of the Queen's Gambit, the proposal, the Vesica Pisces, and the pawn. Remember, the Vesica Pisces is, Vesica is the energy of water, and the Pisces is the pi seas, right? The sharing of the seas, the vortices, and the seas, as in two seas facing each other, as in the parentheses, and the antithesis, the two seas facing each other with the line down the middle of pi, and the pawn. So the pawn, remember, is PA and WN, which is the energy of the Father, the two U's, and then lowercase n for me is code for Jesus. But we also have the water energy of the shared seas, not only the letter C, but the seas as in the ocean, the seas with your eyes, your vision, the seas as in SI, right, which can mean yes or if, what if, and then seizing the day also comes up with the seas. The Father, two U's, and JC, which also represents the toroidal field with direction. Then the P comes up in the pawn, which P is the symbol for rho, which is actually R in our language, and then the A of alpha. The ray of the antithesis, right? Pa is the Father, the rho and the alpha. The ray of the antithesis, which is the other C, right? The C, and then the parenthesis, the other one, of the singularity in the middle, right? Because the two C's make the circle with a singularity in the middle. From the nothingness, from the feminine energy, which is very Hindu, right? Coming up from the nothingness, sparks, or Sophia's park, a ray then reaches out for something, someday, somewhere, out there. The connection to see self through another's eyes. The Father from the anti-C to be, or to, who are, the parentheses, that in the middle draw the line, which is pi, and leap within to connect without. The RA, which reflects AR, the ray that you are. I am to are. I co-create with other, so are. Is, IS, is I, Sophia. R, A-R-E, is the row of the P reaching out, but the A-R-E is also the A and R, one, equal, and congruent to. So you notice the letter A is very balanced, right? It's very structured and strong. It won't tip over. But when you change the one leg of the A to make it an R, it becomes one-sided and off balance and then needs to lean towards the other. The A is well balanced, weight distributed, and the R leans to one side, so it leans or reaches out to the right. The Q of the Queen's Gambit, along with the 7 that makes the other circle behind it of the Vesica Pisces. And the Q comes into the center of the ring, which then represents the second circle again. So the Queen's Gambit, the Vesica Pisces, which also represents the propeller on the avatar motor, right, which has thickness to it, so that it has room for the propellers to go in two different directions. It references the dimension within the two circles, that the two circles in the Vesica Pisces are not seen as flat, but with distance between the two ends, with dimension. A means to an end, space for the two propellers to not hit each other while spinning at a very high rate. A third circle in the middle that you just can't see as it becomes apparent, from apparition to a parent. Parent is the Father rent, regarding the ENT, the talking tree, the living record. And the record is regarding the chord of the heart. He art, the chord of the heart that he art. He RT, the path of the road to the top, to the P, the anti-C, and the singularity. So in other words, we're talking about, the Vesica Pisces and then going into the energy of here, of space between, with the singularity in the middle of the circle, but creating some space there between them. So the space in the middle for source and top dogs, and top dogs were coming up as source, the big G god, and then the top dogs as the dog or the little G gods, the demigods that are half human, right? Angelic humans. The energy of Athena, aka Hercules, becoming half human, and then Perseus, who rode Pegasus up Atlas since he was sent away from Mount Olympus. The energy of the Titans versus the Olympians, right, the children. The Titans is source and tans, Ti and tans. The tans is the tan man, the humans. We're all different shades of tan. The source humans. And the focus, with focus here on the 7, the cracker or flares, the falling stars, the natural fireworks, and the supernova moments in the air, with the greatest of ease on the flying trapeze, the trap of the ease, which is the net and the grid, her hair, which references Poseidon's partner in a net, and his gritty grin coming up here. So we also then were led to 2R, because 2 written in script, as I always tell you, becomes the Q. So 2 and Q can be synonymous with R. And the word Q-A-R-E, with an S on the end, means sour or nipping. But also, when you use the word 2, T-O and then A-R-E, comes up as Tor, T-O-R. And Tor has many meanings, all related to this, okay? So 2R is coming up as Tor, and of course Glastonbury Tor comes up with that, right? And then the Tor means the rocks at the top, or the messy rock hill, or the T-O-R-E, which is hard, strong, rich, or difficult. The beetle also comes up, as well as the feast, the thorax, the bush, and the head, and it really comes up as the jumbled up rocks from the middle to the head or the lead, where the middle takes the lead. So Tor means I return. So this, and as soon as I heard return, I was getting Rose saying to Jack, Jack, come back, come back. All right, and I'm getting major connection right there. As he returns, coming back, the net to turn, rub, the intestines, the belly, the middle, the gateway, the door, the large doorway here that we just went through, Lion's Gate here. The energy of the pillar, the tower, where the middle takes the lead. The energy of Taurus, also the Taurus, T-O-R-U-S, the toroidal field, and the month of March, which is Pisces going into the other world. The energy of being taller, the towering rock, the warrior, the bull, again the Taurus, the track, the lane, the course, the path, the trajectory. So of course then we have Taurus coming up here with Mother Nature here, and again the sun, the singularity, and the Sagittarius bridging energy there. The corral, the young novice, the beginner, the recruit. This is all the word Tor, T-O-R, coming from 2R, as I'm losing my voice, right? The beginner who doesn't necessarily know what they're saying, who may be immature in voice and just learning. Tight, string, to take, to get. The bull, to break, fracture, divide, cut, slice, disobey, mow, and tell. And again with fracture came up the fractal as well. All of these energies around the Tor, 2R, okay? So very important energy, I am 2R. Okay, so let's go into the first message of the day for you guys. All right, so here's the first message of the day. We have the Fortune's Oracle, and then my mixed deck of the Lenormand Reverie and the Kipper deck together, and then the Rider-Waite there at the bottom there, with a lot of cards. So This was done, today's the 17th, this was done on the 15th. From 322 to 325, I pulled the cards. The 3 again of Mother Nature, very much coming up about grounding. The 22, and again, this period that I talked about yesterday, this kind of after graduation period of being thrown back into the 3D, is this energy of being thrown back into your body, being fully human, right? So ground, 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 because it can make you feel lost, right? If you've been balanced between the 3D and 5D perpetually, and then all of a sudden you're just thrown back into the 3D to really feel into your body, your grounded body, it can make you feel off balance. So they're really calling us to ground right now. The energy of Mother Nature again, the 22 of the Fool with an open heart taking a leap of faith, the 23 of the King of Wands, which this year is going into 24 next year, which is the Queen of Wands, and then the following year, which is 25, the Knight of Wands. So the energy of a lot of fire. We're learning all about passion and how to balance our fires for a slow burn, how to channel our energies to create something new. Okay, so the cards at the end of each read, because the left is the underlying energies. I usually pull 3 cards unless another comes out. And then we have the extra cards that organically want to come out. So I use them for numerology as well as to finish the message. And the numbers that came up with those piles at the end for this read was 1311 and then 610929. The transition to align to justice and truth and balance. And 610 happens to be a Philadelphia area code. The lover's destined, or instead of the 698 pod, was coming up as the 6910 pod, right? And again, always upping it an octave. The energy of the POD, the pod, urging a new cycle to 9, which is that, and it's that never-ending energy of getting closer and closer to source, but never actually reaching it, never reaching the end. But to 9, as close as you can get to compassion, to endings of one and all, or the hermit, or hermit, 1-to-1, closed quarters, 1-to-1 with the bird, the 3rd, in the middle, the tower event, crossing and destined to hermit and be present, or the group between the 1-to-1 and taking a risk with space between. And it's kind of, I was just getting the energy of, how in traffic, you kind of keep close to the car in front of you because there's a lot of traffic and you don't want those people who keep butting in to get in front of you, because then that makes you nervous too. That's the energy I'm getting here. Taking that risk to leave that space between, right? Having faith that all will be okay. 9-to-9. At 8:51, which represents the 8 of the dance of the King of Swords, or Virgo to Virgo, or through Virgo season, as we're coming upon Virgo now, as we're in the new moon energies now. I'm getting that cast off of the boat from the shore from Leo to Virgo. So at 3:38, which again is the 3 of the Mother, the Empress, and the coming together, the socializing, the 3rd, the happy-go-lucky, right, the smiley one, the 38 of the Queen of Cups. As the underlying energy here was, I was getting, right, the season, I was getting, it's a time for us, a time and place for us. So again, West Side Story is coming up again. It's a season, and I want to get, 4 seasons is coming up, but I was really getting, which came up the other day, seasons in the sun, but also West Side Story, and a time, like somewhere is coming up again. That already came up in the message, right? Somewhere, somehow, someday, somehow, someday, somewhere. I forget how the order it goes in, but that's coming up as well. The 29 of the 3 of Wands, the Star, the 35 of the Pathway, and the Stingray, and the High Priestess, which is the number 2 of the Divine Feminine, that Q energy, and the higher 2. And remember, the Q represents Queen, but it's also conception, which can be both the masculine and feminine, or the feminine in the masculine. Okay? Present to Sirius as hard times are over, and over being the O of the human embodiment of Source, and Ver is the venerable human. And creation imminent here or urgent. As the wounded warrior surrenders to the path lined with transformation, again, constant change of the butterflies, through the woods to the light, to get plugged in and turned on, activated, the spine aligned, unwound, with the high priestess or psychic or silent one, the divine feminine higher self, sister, aide, or nurse, the silent partner, the blue mother and the serious grandmother, the mother of the blues. And then Ma Rainey came up, which is Gertrude Pridgett, April 26, 1886 to 12/22/39. And marriage, she married Will, in referencing Pa Rainey. So here we have Ma Rainey and Pa Rainey, 1904. And again, in the movie, was played by Viola Davis. She's been coming up nonstop, even in my cloud pics. If you didn't see all my Instagram pics, check them out, because there's beautiful face pics of one of them is totally Viola Davis. And then the other face pic that is with Landslide is, the sad woman, which is a beautiful woman, and you can really see it through the eyelashes. So check that out so you can understand the picture. But so I looked up online to see what was going on with those energies, and 4 days ago, when I looked this up on the 15th on Yahoo, was Viola Davis in the spotlight, the Oscar spotlight, that she rises to the top of her game in Air. It was her birthday on August 11th, and she was celebrating it in Cape Town, South Africa. The blue star plugging into the high priestess at 3:50. The silent one, 3:50. And it's just interesting too that she's coming up, because I've been watching How to Get Away with Murder, because I never watched it when it came out. So at 3:50 is the Empress again, the 10 of Cups, the emotional family, the ultimate emotional fulfillment, and 3:51, which again is the King of Swords. The underlying energy of the 2 of the Angel, the 26 of the Plane, the 8 of the Dragon, and the 12 of the Fool, the 29 of the Star. With wings open wide, Pisces or Virgo energy perhaps, and they're on the same axis, took off for paradise. The Page of Wands dance of the dragonfly inspired, 2 hearts as one, as that's how dragonflies mate, the Hanging Man and the Fool and the loyal friends present under the stars as the sun goes down. And now I'm getting Elton John. Don't let the sun go down on me. The energy of the 33 of the unicorn and their shadow on the rainbow bridge, with the magical lover's romance, a gift from the stars if you can just believe. Destined to go up in flames or major fire. Be true to yourself with emotional upheaval and renewal of the present or gift or your gifts. Burning the cross, the intersection. So that energy's been coming up for the past couple weeks, the burning of the crown and the cross, which is all wood, right? And what is your house made of? That came up as well, the reference of the living tree in front of you that has to face its dead wood, right? That which has been killed, right? Burning the cross, the intersection of 2 gods coming together in Hieros-Gamos. The supernova 7 cracker, the biggest firework ever. The 24 of patience. Remember, 24 is Omega, the Queen of Wands. It's also the spaces between of the 1, 2, 3, and the 3, 4, 5. The 2 of the Queen and the 4 of the Lambda Leap, and the patience of the Queen of Wands, the Omega, the enlightenment, the hourglass of the infinity symbol that is greater, an hourglass that's greater than halfway through as the 23 King of Wands. The owl energy here of wisdom finds wisdom in this period of transformation as the Queen of Wands slows down to change their attitude and clear their mind. The sands of time and space for wisdom, or wise and dumb, as the cards 4, 9, and 28 came up, in the birth of the eagle and the snake, where Father sends the eagle to the snake with a dual nature, with an alter ego. And then, of course, Enlil and Enki come up. The Lord's Lil and Ki, Earth, the the energy of squaring Venus here. And I think that came up in the astrology too. I think K Moon had come up on my feed. But squaring Venus energies were coming up at 4:15, which is tax day, right? So that must be a squaring energy there. So taxing energies. As the tax man and Matthew and K Moon came up. And K Moon is K of energy, and the moon, which is MO of Mary Magdalene, and the N, which is Jesus, and that energy of being on, or the energy of the daughter moon. The Emperor and the Hermit, or Aries and Virgo twin flames. The Aries North Node as we enter Virgo next week into twin flame territory. The Bird and Hydra of air and water. And is that misty or humid or slimy perhaps? Or ash and the bright light takes the cake. The finger of God steps into the ring. The lambda leap. And I was just getting Muhammad Ali. Actually, I've gotten my daughter as his mother. So it's very interesting that's coming up. She and her friend had just gone to Spain. And they met two guys who were twins. How funny is that? All right, so the Bird and Hydra, air and water, misty or humid or slimy or ash bright light takes the cake. Remember, the ash is the AE symbol. In Pleiadian means bright light, okay? So it's like the bow on top of the gift of the rolling stone, right? The energy of the sword and the stone, so to speak. The finger of God steps into the ring. The lambda, or lambda father, leap to all for one and one for all, or for 9, 2, 8. For the group, ending, and compassion to dance with twin, that crazy eights dance of the chromosomes and the 24th pair as we go into year 24 next year. Or father sends eagle to wake up the snake. As this eagle comes up as Ia's or Enki's glee and Sophia's Nike as Virgo takes us to middle cycle, September 21st, which is halfway through the astrological cycle from 321. The fall equinox, where purification meets balance of Libra. P and just B. And new comes up as that Uranus or father sky energy, all about the urine and the anus of transmuting fuel or the food of the body into something else or fertilizer. Of the sky and the eye with children Zeus, Jupiter, and Neptune. Of Cronus or Saturn with rings of change, as everyone's been hanging out with Jupiter these days. Father time and mother needs space, as Anu skipped the middleman and sends Zeus to Poseidon for an adventure in making things right when left. Hydra and their Achilles heel. Hydra starts at the root, the water snake. They met some of their extensions or children along the way, but there's some of their children, their roots grew down, not just up, but down under to heal, with leaving a monkey on their back, of 20s and back. And Spirit's connecting with me strongly on those. The 434 is the lambda leap, and the 34 of the energy exchange, the hours of love, the back and forth of leaping in, right? The 3 is the mother, the 4 is the father. The 3 is the leaping in to conceive, right? The soaring across. And then the 4 is the vertical pillar of the lambda leap, straight up and down. The underlying energy of those two energies of the 8, dancing, coming together. Dr. Jackal and Jack, it's being spelled J-C-K because J-C is the toroidal field and then K is energy. So Jack left the womb of the tomb behind. Dr. Jackal and Jack L left, right, the lambda father leap. Jack left the womb of the tomb behind. The 9 of Pentacles dance of the sovereign and dependency. Destined journey of the 10 and 10, 2 cards that came up together side by side, both destined, twins, of the Page of Pentacles, and then J and J came up here, 2 J's, to discern and fieldwork. And notice Spain is right in line with that 0 point longitude, which also is where around CERN is. I don't think CERN, it might be right on the longitudinal line. That would make sense. but the surface of the Swiss headquarters, I don't think is right on the 0 point field. It's probably to the west a little bit. But this energy of my daughter traveling to that same area of the 0 point, and then this discerning here of CERN, right, doing field work, again, grid work. And my daughter's nickname is J, and so J and J comes up here. So the 10-10 of two destined, and then meeting twins, the Page of Pentacles, which is an earth sign, which actually her friend is an earth sign. J and J to discern, and we have Pisces and Taurus coming up here as well, or the field work through October, or is that December with Oct being 8, and is the 10 actually December, because that's actually the DEC of 10. The 9 of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles, perhaps siblings or earthy friends, or the dance of the sovereign, the sovereignty and dependency, or the mature woman cut out of their life, or the Knight of Pentacles to go through their stuff and sort it out. And again, this could be energy of going through a parent's stuff. Perhaps you had to move them somewhere else and then take care of their stuff. Or perhaps they passed away and you have to go through their stuff, that kind of thing. With parents, the 6 of the mature woman comes up. And again, the energy of the mature woman sitting on her couch in her home. And the 5 of the mature man, they're sitting side by side here. And he's there with the globe, looking at the world. Perhaps she is checking him out, and he's checking out the world, or Atlas, again, very much like the relationship between a man and a woman, right? She takes care of him, and then he takes care of the outer world. Or they planning a world trip with the 10 and the 10 and the 65, where then it comes back in, where it's like he's taking care of her. It's like the roles switch. It's that dance back and forth. Perhaps she's checking him out and he's checking out the Atlas, or they're planning a world trip with 10-10 and the 65, which is the King of Pentacles, but also the energy between the even and the odd, right, of the hex and the pent. The 2 destined King of Pentacles, having mastered their pentacles, but imprisoned by public platform, a park or gardens, or a wake up to public exposure of manicures or manicured fountains and release. And Rosa Parks is now coming up too, as well as the other energies. So anyway, I'm getting this really southern energy, right? We had Rosa Parks, and then Ma reigns, and Pa reigns, and then Muhammad Ali's mother, all right? So there's this energy. I don't know what they all 3 have in common, but they're coming up here. And again, singing the blues may be one of them. The King of Pentacles, having mastered their pentacles, but imprisoned by public platform, park or gardens, or a wake-up call to public exposure, or perhaps falling on a nail, right, getting poked. That can have a lot of different meanings. But sealed, there's this energy of getting stuck. The sealed message or records being the key, the vehicle to the 29 of being present, the gift, the power woman present, or publicly exposing her gifts or gift as she watches the transformation of the wounded warrior's path, or colorful flowers and butterflies that lead to the woods, to a path through a magical entrance between 2 bushes perhaps, or between small trees into the forest, in the parting of the seas, so to speak. Again, the seas referencing the pi symbol. Or the train comes in as the field is cleared, for woman and man to build a secret garden, or glass house that's impenetrable to stone. In the bottom drawer by the phone was a sealed, perhaps a sealed letter, or an IV. That's referencing the 1V is the 4 of the Emperor as well. So this energy of IV sealing, right? So not just sealing something, but the sealing. And IV is the eye I, the creator, the emperor, and then it's 451, which reflects the 415 of the taxman with the emperor and the king of swords. Right? There could be whatever was taxing kind of gets flipped with the emperor. Or playing Clue, perhaps. She in the living room and he in the library or den. She with flowers and he with his atlas. She with windows and he with his books. He sends a letter, perhaps was returned to sender, but opened, and she was watching out for it, but only sees butterflies and light pouring in the distance. As the 44 of Hercules and the 4 of Cups, of grounding, integrating, and mastering how to receive love, and her harvesting, the ivy sealing. Right, the ivy is the growth. And again, like I showed you the other day, the rose and the jack and the beanstalk growing up, the ivy, the kundalini energy. The ivy sealing. Right, how high can that ivy grow, right? Isn't it infinite? The 44 of her harvest and the magnificent glass, or looking glass, and again, the living record. The details of cards, the exclamation point versus the lowercase I, referencing the chakra system, right, as opposed to the exclamation point, right, needing to make your point. The subtleties and the shading, making things bigger than they are, and then the R of row coming up again. Hercules, her harvest, or the heart rate, or perhaps human resources and vestiture coming up here. The exam, the test, or the home room. Seeing what others don't. The 9 of the Queen of Swords, Virgo, with flowers and her gifts, or spying to see what flower she likes, as the 29 is the present, the gift of the loving lady with gifts and the last rose. Or admiring the flowers while still around, or roses that may not be doing very well in August's heat, with the home fires burning. At 4:59, which is the 59 of the 11th hour, the moment before, and the 4 again of the Emperor, as you notice we're dealing in this read specifically with the 3s and the 4s of the Empress and the Emperor, of sunshine. And 59 is also that 5 of Swords, it's the war within. Sunshine and summer, the Ace of Pentacles and a new life, with groups of the 40, which is a number referencing Enki, again, Ea. The Page of Cups, the innocent one, or Ea. The multiple faces of innocence, it can come in many ways. And the wealthy man in transition, or Scorpio, perhaps Pisces here as well. With 13 and 13 right next to each other, and you notice how everything is aligning here. The wealthy man and the child, the Page of Swords and the 9 of Cups. The delivery in person to get their wish, as the Divine Masculine and Magician, or Scorpio, Gemini child. The 4 of Home and the King of the King of Cups here. The stability of the King of Cups home, and the 16 of the sudden event, the supernova, 6 of Cups, experience of the loving children, of Pisces, Scorpio, and Scorpio, again aligning, of Gemini or Virgo and Aries. And Scorpio, again, a lot of Scorpio, Pluto transformational energy here. Excuse me. The wealthy man and the child, or the man-child, comes home suddenly, or package, or letter delivery, but it really feels like an in-person delivery. At 5:06, again, is the reflection of 65, but with space between. The 5 of the Hierophant, the master of the hidden house, but also freedom and change and expansion. And the 6 of the flow of the spiral, the more motherly, feminine energy, and again of the lovers. And Gemini can come up with that, where 5 is the Taurus energy. So the 6 and the 5 giving themselves space between. And the cards 12, 25, and 38 then came up. The wise group of birds hanging out at the house, as the Knight of Wands proposes, Jerry Maguire style, new passion for the Queen of Cups and twin bridges that need work, perhaps getting Pisces or Saggy, Gemini, and Aries and Scorpio to help, or Saggy, Pisces, and Gemini, Scorpio, perhaps getting them to help, or those energies, using those energies. So at 514, again is the 5 and then the 14 of a higher love, the Temperance card of truth and balance, of patience and balance, along with the 5 of change, right? Whenever there's change, you need to then rebalance and to take it up an octave to a higher love. The underlying energy of the golden egg and the dolphin, the nesting happy dolphin with the elephant coming in, clearing with each step, and then D''L, del, throne of the butterflies, with boundaries like a spider's web. As the butterfly gains their strength, and the crocodile lay in wait, cutting off their nose to spite their face, getting the stingray to charge up or activate through Mr. Ed and the newbie in the rainbow grid, the spider's web, or intestinal changes, the horse with fresh meat and now won't eat the other, or charging horse for fresh mouth, caught in a sticky web, multicolored sticky web, of the wolf who's now stunned. Mr. Ed let the newbie bring the web in their cave. Like this is like a father in their man cave letting their child bring their phone with them. Like maybe they're not allowed to bring their phones with them, but this is all of a sudden allowing them to do that, to bring the web in their cave. The horse and the wolf match on the web, 2 as 1 dragonfly, inspiring, or fireflies. Two is one dragonfly, inspiring, or fireflies. So we have the energy of the dragonflies and fireflies. And again, that fiery dragon energy, or planning their delivery at 524. Again, the freedom of the Queen of Wands there. The Master of the Hidden House and enlightenment. Planning the delivery, a beautiful mind. The black egg, the throat chakra, the truth, speaking your truth. The dragon and fireflies inspired by the songbird. The nightingale who stands guard as well. Or songbird and crown. Remember, crown is the crow, the scarecrow of Jesus, standing back to back. Or Alicia Keys and Sheryl Crow, who want me to tag their music for a fee. The nightingale and sea row, or front seats. Or sings like an angel and eats crow. Or sweet and sour, light gray and dark gray, white and black, little and big, pastels and bright royal colors. There could be a sting here as well. As Mr. Ed, or stallion, which is also stall lion, watching to see them receive their gifts. Thus, girl is on fire and on air of 2 beautiful minds and 1 heart at 532, which is today's energy, the 32 of the journeyman, and again the 5 of change and the Master of the Hidden House. It's so beautiful. It's like someone noticing, this girl is on fire, on air, and of 2 beautiful minds and 1 heart. It's like the masculine noticing the energy all of a sudden. It's so beautiful what comes out of their mouth. It warms them inside. The octopus teacher, the brain on high, the 8 dance of life's work, and the turtle and the raccoon, the slow and the shy, the timid or in hiding, and the whale in need of a lifeline, helping the octopus to expel negative energies here. The elephant and the whale, the horse and the hound dog, you're nothing but a hound dog. The horse and the hound dog in the middle, the gale and the crow, the baby's breath and the scarecrow, and the fortnight, or the 4th night, with HK in the middle, which is the horsepower, or Mr. Ed, referencing source energy, in the middle of the bridge. And that can reference Ea as well in a very high vibration. So the 539 of the change, the Master of the Hidden House, the Taurus energy of stubbornness or being fixed within change, right? Because 5 is the Hierophant, which is Taurus, but yet Taurus is fixed, and 5 is change, right? It's that energy of being both at the same time. And the 39 of the Knight of Cups, where then the underlying energy here in the Rider deck is the King of Wands upright, assessing worth of going forward. Remember, this is all the underlying energy. The King of Wands assessing worth of going forward as the Dark Knight or the White Horse, or on the White Horse. That death is not pretty, but the cleanup crew is needed or necessary, as Pluto, as the Grim Reaper, walks over the church, and with clarity here. Perhaps new information of the Queen of Pentacles, perhaps unstable or unable to pretend any longer. Perhaps the Dark Knight is unable to pretend any longer. As the Queen of Pentacles is upright here, but maybe weak or slow, or perhaps purposely slowing down, or in need of strength or courage in downturn or slow down, or to maintain that slow down, that slow burn. Or the Leo reversed and Libra reversed, out of control kids or pets, or unstable home, or with visitors, or moving the Page of Pentacles reversed and in need of help, or the Queen of Pentacles unable to get a new project off the ground. As the Page of Pentacles reversed may be dropping the ball because they're looking too closely at one, or just unable to juggle, needing to do one thing at a time, or dropping the act with the Page of Swords, or no return or money from their message, stepping up but without tools, and yet gifted, detoxing their foolish behavior, with Gemini or Virgo reversed, Capricorn reversed, and Aries reversed, or shadow work but insecure or lacking faith, or fell from grace in a divorce, or embarrassed themselves in front of the spiritual community, or break in contract with dreams, healing, star, Taurus reversed and Aquarius upright, or a seedy group responding to the Page of Pentacles reversed without tools of discernment. The bird taking off, giving to others, the water bearer, sharing or settling out while honing their skills at 553. Again, the Hierophant and the Knight of Swords, or the Messenger of Truth. At 555, right, which is a lot of change, which then necessitates or requires grounding. So at work, school, split, divide, a need for clarity and the whole truth, with the wounded warrior on guard, deeply wounded, or on bed rest, or on break, or praying, meditating in the 5D connection, or tired of the Two of Cups reversed, in disconnect or at a distance, with the Six of Cups reversed, falling out, or bad childhood, or difficult children, or PTSD and the past always returning, with sunshine exposing with high energy as well, though, the kids, the pets, or re-energizing wounds it's like the energy's coming up to be dealt with once and for all, with fallen angel and hermit reversed, right? The energy of the one who fell from the spotlight, and the hermit, the one who's over isolating, or Leo upright, Saggy reversed, and Virgo reversed, or no patience for kids and pets, or perhaps parents with dementia, or coming out to fix things up, or make amends, organize, or get your ducks in a row, aligning or non-stop assembly line, or investing 4 to create 8, or start a creative business, perhaps. So the Queen of Swords reversed may be very negative here, or maybe she's in deep grief, but she could be lying or verbally abusive as well. Maybe she's not on board or uncomfortable with this. And the Knight of Swords reversed too. The Queen of Swords and Knight of Swords reversed, you don't want there together. Or kids lashing out about the Nine of Pentacles sovereign with it all, right? Again, this could be someone being attacked because of jealousy here, right? That someone has a lot and they're not being happy for them, right? They're pissed off, right? So the Knight of Swords and Queen of Swords, or kids lashing out about the Nine of Pentacles sovereign with it all, trapped or imprisoned by recovery and letting the Knight of Wands upright and the Empress reversed back in. Or the Knight of Wands upright, that fiery slow burn energy, rushing into their rescue, leaving the Empress reversed behind. And again, this could be too that someone not resonating with doing something, but that society expects it from you, right? And being brave enough to stand up for yourself and knowing what your true mission is, what you're supposed to be doing. And it may not be what society thinks you should be doing, right? So others may not resonate with what you decide to do. Leaving the Empress behind could be leaving a mother behind, leaving a spouse behind, leaving a grandmother behind. Or the Nine of Pentacles Sovereign who's stuck with the Queen of Swords reversed and the Nine of Swords reversed, recovering and their hands tied. As the Knight of Wands rushes in, leaving the Empress reversed defenseless, as she has no excuse, or the Empress reversed was caught off guard in a breakup or dumped, crying overwhelmed or pushed to their emotional and energetic limit at the same time, as the Ace of Cups is reversed and the Ace of Wands reversed. Or this is a relationship all of a sudden cut off, no love, no sex, and the Knight of Cups upright is offering love to one who's been ignoring them. Or the Page of Wands inspired by the High Priestess or higher self, that could be a sister as well, the quiet or reserved one, the sister or nurse, Pisces or Virgo, or realizes that they may reject them and needs to turn on the charm, or they have to think about it, and they're planning to keep coming until they say yes. At 610, again, which is a Philadelphia area code 610, but it's also the Lovers and the Wheel of Fortune, right? So under the radar, of course, back and forth with injustice of the breakup or lack of affection, or repeating over and over again, with Libra and Gemini both reversed, getting over loss, regret with the Emperor reversed and the Page of Cups upright, kindness, but perhaps with poor judgment because they're immature, they're young, needing to feed or heed the call, perhaps needing to make calls or swallow their pride, to fight through their fears and drama to come clean, get clean, or clean up their act, or clean up their space or their house, or fight the need to be a sneaky little shit. As the nightmare of ending the emotional cycle, or with the Ten of Cups reversed family and boldly moving towards the Ten of Pentacles upright, the family, business, community, or legacy, or heaven on earth, hanging out with friends or Cancer warrior, or in need of peace, healing, forgiving, apologizing perhaps to the Queen of Wands upright at 616, the Lovers and the Tower, which was yesterday's energy of the Tower. And was the Page of Cups between the Emperor reversed and the Queen of Wands upright, or Aries reversed and Aquarius reversed, Scorpio reversed and Cancer upright, Pisces or Capricorn upright, or an expensive trip leaving the Queen of Wands with no peace, or reunion needed to apologize, forgive, and heal. Coming clean, the Knight of Pentacles upright to the King of Pentacles reversed may not be satisfied due to all the pain caused for the Queen of Cups reversed and the King of Swords reversed. Or child of the Emperor may be trying to make things right, but the King of Pentacles may be unhappy alone after a painful ending with the Queen of Cups and King of Swords who are both reversed. The King of Cups with no choice at night or at the full moon or in romance, dumping a load or burdens, responsibilities. Atlas seeing synchronicities of the one with unknowns here, but can't take my eyes off of you. Can't take my eyes off of you. That's coming up as the blower's daughter from the movie Closer. It's the opening scene. Heaven in their eyes, or sees everything in one person, whole, complete, like the complete package. The divine feminine neighbor, the world, coming full circle and fully exposed, marching to the beat of her own drum, the drummer or the Drummond, and wrapping this up. At 625, the Lovers and the Knight of Wands, or Gemini and Sagittarius energy, which are each other's axis, conducting Beyond the Universe, and that song Beyond the Universe, with DNA batons. Stressed out with the Ten of Cups reversed, family, perhaps the ending of an emotional cycle or just an unhappy family, and traveling to the Ten of Pentacles, upright family, business, or community of wealth. Or perhaps going to a hotel, a place of means, to hang with the Three of Cups, perhaps a celebration with friends, overflowing, or hanging out with new friends to gain a new perspective. Perhaps the Ten of Pentacles and the Three of Cups, both upright, are having a good old time. But this is someone who's stepping away from that, not seeing the fun in it anymore. It doesn't give them peace. Or perhaps a group of friends without peace until they apologize or forgive the Queen of Wands, or until all heal, all involved heal at 629, which is the Lovers, and again the 29 of the Three of Wands being present in the moment. So then we have the next message of the day, and this is the Fortune's Oracle, and then the Journey of Love, and the Good Tarot, and then the Rider-Waite at the bottom there. Okay, did I say that right? Yeah. The Fortune's Oracle, Journey of Love, the Good Tarot, which I haven't used in a long time, and then the Rider-Waite. So this one was pulled yesterday at 151 to 155. The Fortune's Oracle at 150 to 51, and then 52. So the King and Queen of Swords there, and then the 54 of the Good Tarot, which is the Page of Swords, and then 55 is the Ace of Swords, or the Truth, the whole truth, which is the Rider-Waite. An important message comes up in this message, very significant. The cards at the end came up 3111 and then 8527. And again, the energy of, you see how my throat was going out because we're talking about the truth in all of these decks, 51, 52, 54, and 55, right? So everybody's different perspectives. And then the truth, right? The whole truth and nothing but the truth, or source's truth, right? So there are many different truths, but the one truth is love, right? Fly, soar to co-create, dance, and the Hierophant with greased lightning. The 8 and the 5 are greased lightning, the power and the freedom. To boomerang. The Queen's Gambit. The key is the tail of the Queen, which then is the connection to the other O. The Gambit, the pawn. The conception, right? The concept or the conception of Vesica Pisces and the other Q. And then the pool Q sticks came up. And again, the energy of the Chi. And then the P of Rho, which is the R. The 3 keys with M8, Queen of Swords between. And the M is co-creation of the 8 dance, right? Of going back and forth in that closed circuit. The 3 keys of alchemy with the magic 8, the Queen of Swords between, which the Queen of Swords also comes up as Lady Liberty. The co-creation dance of Lady Liberty, crowned with flame in hand, all lit up. The group conflict and justice, the strength or magic romance of the 52/7 of the Queen of Swords, the key flame, Lady Liberty there. At 218 is the Q of the 2 and the 18 of the moon. The 2 also the divine feminine and the higher self, and the romance of the moon, the subconscious. The underlying energies of the 9 of the eagle, who goes within and flies. The 20 of the sweet soul rising, of the judgment card and the wake-up call. The energy of earth. And then the king of earth came up there, and then the 10 of wands upright, which is the Atlas card. The eagle soaring out of range over the mountains, where the hawk, I told you, had flown east yesterday morning when the crow was chasing the hawk away. And I was getting negative energy from the crows. They were squawking really loud and being very aggressive. And the hawk is always flies over me nice and peacefully, but the 3 crow across the street can be very aggressive. And they're not friendly with me. When I say hi to them, they usually fly away. So sorry. So the energy of soaring out of range over the mountains, and again the energy of the hawk or the eagle flying east, allowing the sweet soul to rise without judgment to the occasion. The eagle's wake-up call to rise as the King of Pentacles works very hard with Atlas, or resistance training. Stress and pressure over a long period of time will either fracture or become something stronger. One in flight and one on the ground. The Hermit and the King of Pentacles, the wake-up call to keep going. The eagle is never wavering, maintaining for others to rise, to keep loving and weaving back and forth through the skies, until others reach the peak of the mountain. Every time they get close, the eagle climbs a little bit higher, a smidge higher at 227. So there comes up again the energy of conception and the Q and the 27 of Vesica Pisces. So every time the little ones get closer to the source, the eagle climbs a smidge higher, in a very slow rate. And again, the energy of that 0.999 to infinitum, never reaching the end, because there is no end. The underlying energy of the 2 and the Q of the Queen's Gambit, where the energy of the third circle of the triquetra is actually the 2 Qs reflecting each other under God's umbrella, right? The canopy, which then creates that third circle. 2 humans conceived and reach out for each other as Source hovers to keep them coming closer and closer. When they both chase Creator, there is a crossing or an intersection. This is where the important information comes up, right? Because as you each are connecting closer and closer to Source, which then brings you together, right? What God brings together, let no man put asunder, the canopy. The 25 of the Knight of Wands, with a slow burn here, right? As they both are connecting with Creator and getting higher and higher, as it's like Ea as the eagle, hovering over to keep pulling us upward and upward. And then as we get closer, they keep going upward so that we climb higher. But we will there is a point where we all cross, but it's different for everybody, right? But the longer it takes, it's not because you don't know what you're doing. The longer it takes, it's because the higher vibrational the combination is, okay? And that's not making one lesser or worse than the other. Everyone has their different missions they've chosen to come in and do, okay? So it's this energy, and I'll show you a picture of that in a second. But the 25 of the Knight of Wands with a slow burn is the Phoenix rising into beingness, into the light. The 13 of Goals, go alls, the whole makers, to the goal, the ancient one, the transition of lovers being true to themselves, with 13 and 18 equaling 31. Again, the reference of 13 of death and 31 of life, the chaos, and then the control of death, and the 18 between, which can reference the romance or the subconscious, but also the Chi energy of 10 and 8 of life. Today, death or dark night. And yesterday's energy was the 31, so that was coming up, that life and death energy, that death and then rebirth. The energy of death and dark night and the moon and romance and subconscious energy and the new moon yesterday, and or the 16th actually. Yeah, that was yesterday. The energy of Leo, of death and rebirth, through romancing the stone, which is stone, the ST, the path of one. The flowers or flowers, those who go with the flow, as the collective aligns, the 11, with the 26 of the Page of Wands. The plane taking off for other dimensions. Dimensions is diamonds connections. And diamonds, and notice the die is the 2, okay? The diamonds connection and the crystal planes at 244, which is the higher self and her harvest. Diamond is the 2 of die, AM, instead of IM, 2M, on DS, or OND, which is the soul, the breath, but also the wicked, the one who is hurt and the one who's angry, again, the one on either side, the polarity, and the and, which is ... forever, right? It's always something else. The diamonds are forever. The die, so 2M on DS, or 2R the soul, the breath, both the hurt and the angry, and the and between. The DS is the deci second, the 10 to the -1, the flint, which is symbolized by the lowercase m, the knife, or a small creation, the flint, the spark that creates the whole thing, the knife, the jar, and the disabt, DISSABDT, which means Saturday or Saturn, a reference there, and then Chronos and the Sabbath. And that word comes up from Catalan, which notice the talon in Catalan, and then the Occitan, which has the Tan Man in it. Okay, so this reference to the talons of the birds and the humans, and that word, and Saturday of the Saturn, the Kronos and the Sabbath, and of course that can reference a Jewish thing as well. And I'm wearing my Israeli necklace today. So this energy of the calling, of called, it means also self and to self. Again, the reflection of self and then to self, the DS. The 2M, the 2R on self and to self. Or Doctor of Science, of course, comes up with DS as well. 2M on Saturn's day, called self and to self. The 10 and the 2s, or the 2 10s, to be proper and fitting. The 2R souls, the diamonds connection. 2M soul's breath, or wicked, stealing their breath, hurt or angry. 10 and 2, high vibe 2s. 1 gives and leaps, and 2 conceives and receives. The death and the dark night, and the 2 paths, and being true to oneself. Through death and love of oneself, you are rebirthed without dying, right? Without actually leaving the body. So what I want to show you before I turn the page is what they were showing me to draw when I was talking about the different twins coming together. So as we all start in the 3D, and here's source energy, right? You see how the paths all cross at different points, depending how it takes longer and longer, depending on how high vibration the match is and what your mission is, right? Because you may be serving in a higher vibration. So, and I was getting the energy of the 4D being soulmates, so that energy of very close soulmates, right? That actually is a very pleasant experience to have before you get to the 5D of the larger group. So it's like all of the star seeds in the 5D group, and then as it gets higher and higher, it's a smaller group, that 144 energy of the twin flames, and then the walk-ins, right, which is a very small group of walk-ins. We're all coming up as that 6, 7, 8D energies and above. So, and again, being in the 4th density now, right? So we're in the 4th density, but we're dealing with all these different dimensions. So as your paths cross, it takes longer because, in that reference of the eagle going higher and higher, every time you climb the mountain and get closer, they go a little bit higher to make you stretch even further. And so it takes longer to get to that higher dimension place. So it's very interesting the way that came up. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything I wrote down here. The 2, and again, remember that diamond is also 2 worlds, 2 eyes, the 2 almond eyes of the human connection, the 2 world connection. And again, one foot in this world, and the next is that Pisces to Aries energy, right? The death and rebirth without actually dying, but bridging. And the energy of 301, which also then reflects the 13 and 31 of life and death, and space between, right? The 3 of the Mother Earth, the Mother Nature energies, and the soaring eagle across, with space between them and the vertical pillar of the 1, the leap. By aligning with the collective source, as the flowers, or those who flow, always long for the sun. And the Page of Wands, 26, aspire to something higher up. But the eagle's angle is very small. They already fly high and wait for the others to catch up, and letting them ever so patiently. They're waiting ever so patiently for the others, right, the students, to do it themselves, right? So again, by aligning with the collective and source, right, trying to reach source energy, as the flowers, right, when you look at a flower, it's always facing the sun. It longs for the sun. And the Page of Wands, right, the inspired child, always aspiring to something higher up. But the eagle's angle, right, they want to get there in 2 seconds, right? But the eagle's angle is very small and slow. Already flies high and waits for others to catch up, and letting them ever so patiently do it themselves. The 3D goals of money and gold. The 4D lovers aim for each other. The 5D flowers or flowers reach for the sun naturally. The 6D planes reach for the destination of the sun, perhaps with checkpoints on the way. The 7D, 8D, 9D are in no hurry to get there, focused on the all and ever hovering over, slightly above, while the others catch up, on and on. As the 1 and the A is the rocket that blasts off to get there fast, the vertical pillar, and win, but the horizontal all of Mother Nature hovers and waits for others to come along for the ride, the do-si-do of the slow burn, of Saturday, the Sabbath, Saturn, and responsibilities. The first card here of the 17, which is today's day of the star, the dreams of love around the world in AD days. So the number 80, or after death, and I actually posted a technical diagram referencing the 80 days is actually the after death days of 2023 today. The AD days of old. The DS, which equals the lowercase m. And again, referencing the co-creation of 2 parentheses with the 1 in the middle, which is pi. So instead of the 111 of co-creation, they're showing me 102, right? So moving the 1 from the center to the 2, and then creating space between with source embodiment in the middle, not too fast and not too slow, but just right, with space and plenty of time. At 3:15, which is taking us a month back from tax day to just after Pi Day. All right, so 3:14 to 3:15 is the angel and the devil and the energy of the shadow, right? The 2 C's, right? It's like 3:14 at midnight, going from 1C to the anti-C with space between. The diamond, where and, remember, is ETs, right? The 2 who are, di-am, 2-am. ETs, 1 equal and congruent to the top dog, right? The plus sign of the cross, which is and is short for Andromeda, and drama, a dramatic father, one dramatic father. As the 9 to 17, so then September 17th was also coming up, to the 3/6/9 of the Atlas energy there, right? The Hermit, the Star, and Atlas. Ia's glee, their dreams for humanity. The Who from Man, or now Who from Terra, as Elena Donano says now. The chakra system with gratitude. Unity is one chakra system with gratitude, equals the top dog, Y. The intersection of points, where all roads lead home, the arcs, leaps, and bounds. And then 9:17, which brings up my brother, Dan, which then brings up, as well as Elena Denon, brings up the Dan tribe with Atlas and the weight of the world, right? Always carrying the weight of the world. So the Dan tribe, and I just went into Wikipedia, are the judges, right? That's their name, is the judges. And who is able to sit in judgment, right? Only those of the highest vibration who sit next to Source. The second biggest of the 12 tribes after Judah. Around the 7th century BC, Dan is prophesied to leap from Bashan, and they were the last tribe to actually receive their inheritance or their land. And then that land was reduced to the camp of Dan, the Gush Dan, the area of Israel. So that became Israel. In times of crisis, people were led by leaders known as judges. Samson, of course, the most famous, and possible with Aegean heritage, Aegean connections, as the consequence of great pressure from the Philistines. The part of the tribe lost hope, as I just talked about 232 to New Hope, of Central Coast. So they lost hope of having their inherited land and migrated north, conquering Laish, Laish, to the city of Dan. And I'm sorry if I mispronounce anything, I'm just not familiar. So Judges 18 defined the northeast border of the Israelites. it was always talked about as from Dan to Beersheba. The new kingdom was Saul, but Judah remained separate. But after the death of Saul's son, the Dan tribe then moved to King David and Judah, and David's grandson at 930 BC, as the northern tribes split from David to become the northern kingdom. Dan was exiled as the kingdom of Israel and lost their history after that. However, this was a Latin chronicle, Chronicon Holsate, so just in Latin, like Vitas, from 1698 states that the Danes were the Dan tribe, and another article connects them to Denmark, perhaps Ireland as well, and the Ethiopian Jubes of Beta Israel. And again, the symbol of the scales of justice represent the judges. So this is very Libra energies, the Dan tribe, which again, Virgo to Libra, is that midpoint of the cycle. The snake that bites horse's heel, so the rider then tumbles backwards. Some have proposed that the Dans are the Antichrist, okay, which is just the anti-C, right, the antithesis, which is required to balance things out. In Revelation 7:4-8, the 12 tribes doesn't mention Dan and the Ephraim, perhaps due to their pagan practices, right, which weren't accepted by our social norms. At 342 is the Empress and the Two of Cups. Dan was the 5th son of Jacob. Again, one of the middle children. 5 to 7 would be the middle of the 12 children. The eagle dreams of traveling the world with a map of intent, the 10 of Wands atlas. The eagle loves carrying that earth. They love that responsibility. The weight of the humans, right, the human children, as parents always do love their children. The 27 proposal and 2 rings here, 2 linked and conceived by God, again with the under the umbrella, under the canopy. Let no man put asunder. And again, this reference of the ceremony under the canopy. Let no man put us under or less than. The 2 cubes reflecting each other and coming together under God's canopy represents the divine feminine connection to source, or again, the conception of the masculine and the feminine, both in their feminine side with conception, and the connection to source, waiting for the divine masculine to plug in. The energy of water, the Pisces, the Vesica of energy of water, and the 2 C's, where the pi of 2 C's facing each other with the one in the middle go through and fold inside out of each other, right, as the Hieros Gamos energy, then permanently tying themselves with back-to-back C's and the line through it representing the astrological sign of Pisces, with one foot in this world and one in the next. And literally expressing to come together, literally to orgasm together and fold inside out. The 28 of the Hydra snake, destined 10 to fire up with the 4, the lambda leap, in a birth, when the lamb reaches out to the father. So when the masculine finally concedes to accept source energy and connect to their own inner higher self, that is when everything collapses in together. The 6 of the Cinderella's chariot, and notice the cinder and char, the fire energy of Cinderella and the chariot, the Ia's alignment with the IoT, the chakra system of the human embodiment of source and the top dog of creator, the vehicles of ascension, the V of creation, and some would say victory, but the victory is the creation, the creating connection. The high CLE, which is the clutches, the paw, right? The eagles, in the eagle's clutches, the point, the cunning, the sly. And again, referencing the Catalan and Occitan of the Talon and the Tan Man, the bird and the human. The vehicle of ascension, of creation on high, in the clutches of the cunning, the transport key of a sense connection, in the talons of birds, via clutches, the cunning bird with lovers, cinder and char. Ia's alignment with the Io, right? The Io is I in Italian, the top dog. And again, the Pope could be coming up here too. Or the chakra system, the human embodiment of source. But I was also getting emboli right there. And that came up with the lumen the other day, right? When the lumen gets clotted due to an embolic, right? There's a blockage there. So the energy of E is alignment with the top dog or creator. And again, being then the top dogs right next to source. Or the chakra system, the human embodiment of source and the top dog. And then referencing not God, but one of his dogs, right? The lower G gods. The 6 of the lovers, and we referenced that already as the demigods, part human, the angelic humans. The 6 of lovers and the 14 of judges. This is literally the card, judgment. So the 6 of lovers comes up as the divine lovers, and the 14 as the Dan tribe of judges, and that higher love of patience. That only those who are in Saturn energy of great responsibility, who are willing to encompass that energy of love, that higher love of taking responsibility, those are the ones sitting next to Creator, who are ready to sit on the bench. God's mercurial messengers, the eagle hermit, and again the energy of Virgo and Gemini of Mercury, and the 6 of Gemini's lover's chariot. The eagle triggers and ignites the chariot's engine for the chariot to ascend, causing the twin horses, aka unicorns, right, because you can only see the horn in other dimensions, to fall off their horses and thus learning to get back on, while dancing in the quantum push and pull of multiple directions, the heart squared. Again, the dance of the toroidal field times 2. Which I showed you that like a couple of years ago, which looks like an Easter egg opening amidst the Celtic cross. The open book test of the heart squared, and again the living library. The 2, the 12, and the 22, and notice all the 2s right there. 2, 1, 2, 2, 2. 2, the 21 of the world and completion to the 22, which is the next cycle, that leap of faith with an open heart, that open book test. Where the angels, the angels is 1 gels with an open heart that's wide open, and their wings are up. With the hanging man and lover's leap, the 2 and the 12, both pi C's, multidimensionally. The 22 of energy resonating above the mountain, the 5D stationing of the 5D, right, being the 22 station, kind of like, Grand Central Station, or for Philadelphia, it's 30th Street Station, which is the 30 of Union. And then that's the jump-off point to all other dimensions. So the 5D stationing of the angelic judges, the Dan tribe, in the 5D is the jump-off point to all directions. So it's just referencing the 5D, but we also have 60, 70, 80, 90 levels coming up as the twins come together. The 2 angelic fools hanging out, hovering out of range under God. The middleman, so to speak. So at 407, which is the sweet spot of the heart to the crown with space between, the underlying energy of the 4 of the Emperor and the Lamb to Father leap, of simplicity. Sophia's I am plissy, which is splash or fly swatter, ingratitude. Sophia's implicit, enfold, entangle, a given, at the Y in the road, where all roads lead home. In faith at the intersection, implied as a given, her knowing. The black and white here, of the bird or the piglet and the 1 blade of grass. The 1 of the heart fire, the spark in the heart. The roses unraveling, of the 4, 1, and 20. Which references the Father 4 of source energy, the 1 of the masculine, and then the 2 of the feminine with source backing them up. The Lamb to leap, and then leaping again to source, and then back to human again. As the eagle counts to 10, 11, and 12, which is 60, of 1 to 0, source backing up the masculine and the feminine together. The 41 of new love of the Ace of Cups, 4 judges. The 5 of Wands soul, rising to catch up. So again, only the most patient of all, right, the judges, can deal with the slowest of all, right, which is us, the 3D. So here's the judges at 5D having to have the most patience of all, right, really angelic energies, to allow the humans to rise to that level. Because once they get to 5, it's easier then for the other masters above, up to source, to then wait for their students to come up because they're much quicker. The 415 of tax day again, the tax man in Matthew, with Aries and Geminis and Aquarius. And so then Teddy was right in front of me, and I was saying, so Teddy, are you God's top dog or his top gun? And of course, his cute little face looking back at me. And then I was thinking I'm like, LOL, like his name is Teddy, which is the top dog, Ed. And then the DY, which is 2, and also trembling. And he's got a tremble in one of his paws. And then Annika, which is his girlfriend next door, which is Annika, which is Anne, which is 1. And then NA, which is the reflection of 1. And KA, which is the energy. DY energy, which is also, they're both also already, and the cause, the soul, and the ox and the steer, towards the fish and the water that you are. The eagle patiently waits for the children to rise. The 14 of being light as a feather, and that higher love, and the 48 of the man of earth, the woman of the sky, and the 40 of the void. The angels go within through the cyclone of earth and sky to the 40, which also represents Ea again, Enki, and the void. Right? So the void is VO and ID, and the 40. Ea number 40, and the Page of Cups, creator of human ID. Ea and Gaia, sky and earth. Whipped up a little something something here for you. At 423, the Emperor and the 23 of the King of Wands. And to the 3, the 4, the Emperor, to the 3, the Empress. The 31, which was yesterday's energy of the 5 of Wands, which is that chaos of life. And here coming up is the Christed flame, a very difficult energy to be in, right, when he's being crucified. The 12 of self-initiation, which is just below the 13 of the reflection of 31, right, the death energy. The 12 is, right, the completion point before moving into the next cycle or next dimension. The 12 of self-initiation, having to go through the Christed flame, having to go through dark night of the soul in order to learn to self-initiate from death. The 18 of distant shores and the struggle to initiate as the alchemist, right, the initiator becoming the alchemist, which also references the Philadelphia experiment, and the chaos of the hanging man, and again, the man literally hanging in the wall of the ship. To recycle self, recycle, the new cycle, or coming back around to recycle again. The 12 and the 18, which equals 30 of the union and romance of distant shores. And again, shores comes up as Sophia's whores, and the distant will come up in a second. So the initiate's crossing of the bridge, right, to the master of the hidden house, which is the Hierophant in alchemy, with 4 moons coming up here, which can reference 4 moons, which comes up as, I think it's November 27th as the next full moon, but that's passing through 1111, right, the bridge, with the 4 of the Lamb to leap, the Lamb to Father leap, of the moon, the Mary Magdalene and the Jesus, the Lamb to leap of the MM and JC, which references the mountains and the valleys of the horizontal, and the JC of the vertical pillar of the torus. Of distant shores, the distance is 2 paths, 1 God, or the distant ant, the 1 in the T. Sophia's whores, or hoes are, instead of hoes are us, hoes are S, in the vortex and under the bridge, seeing the light of 1111, building to November's full moon on the 27th, I think. October 31st to 1112 was coming up, is very significant here, plus 18. Okay, so 1111 plus 18 comes up as the 29th, which is actually my son's, it's October 29th. So the 29th comes up, and my son's birthday is October 29th. But here's the energy of 11:11 building to the full moon on the 27th. October 31st to 11:12 plus 18, which is also Kai and source energy, life, the subconscious energy and romance, of course. The 31, 12, and 18 equals 61, which is the year I was born, but also the risk card, that Seven of Swords. And actually, on the divine triangle of numerology, I'm in my third square of life, which is number 6, and for me personally, it adds up to 61. It's different for everybody. So it's very much this energy of taking that risk. The Seven of Swords isn't in a high vibration. It's not the liar, cheater, thief. It's the one who's willing to take that risk. The energy of him taking a risk to meet her where she is. And then the energy of periwinkle came up, that purple that I love so much. Per the eye, the lowercase I of the chakra system, the winkle is the 2 U's in the key. 2 U, periwinkle is per the chakra system, 2 U's in the key, or in key is in harmony. So it's not in the key, it's in key. So per the chakra system, 2 ye's in key. Hear ye, hear ye. So there's an announcement here. Per the chakra system, 2 U's are in key, right? So you are in harmony. Hear ye, 2 U's in key. So beautiful. The 25 of the Knight of Wands and the seat of the heart, the question mark, and the 3 of the feminine burning hero, her human, rolled all into one. The Knight of Wands with a slow burn and the Mother's eagle to get you there. Rolling, rolling as the phoenix burns into the heart of the matter. And again, the matter of clay, right? That Ea made the humans out of clay. The Knight of Wands and the Empress. And again, the Knight of Wands represents Pegasus as well. And again, Ea, if Ea is Poseidon, then the Knight of Wands is the slow burn of Pegasus, right? Learning to channel their energy, right? And Poseidon being very patient with their son. When the father and the son, and this could be a literal father and son too, when they learn to forgive each other, or the father learns to be patient with their son who may be very different from them, that is when this, we have only just begun to learn. All right, so that's the energy of coming together there. White lace and promises. So that's, we've only just begun. And the Carpenters. So the Knight of Wands and the Empress and Ea's son and Mother Nature, Gaia, we've just begun. The Gaia is the G for God, and AIA, the 2 humans in connections amidst the chakra system, or the mini I am, 2R. So I went for a walk with Teddy before I was able to finish here. The underlying energy of the 6 of air then came up, a peaceful ship coming in. I have to, hold on, note this right here. Okay. And notice I was just getting we've only just begun, and they're giving me the weave. And they want me to write it down because weave is W-E-A-V-E. Weave only, right? Only is 1 at the Y in the road. And just is the Jew's path. And then begun is be God 1. Be God UN. Right? It's the Holy Grail. And then the Christ consciousness. Be God of the UN, right? So be the universal UN basically. And again, the Federation of Worlds is coming up here too. But again, we've only just begun the weaving of the I am at the Y in the road, of the Jews, which is also the 2 U's path. I, 2 U's, Sophia path of begun, B-G-U-N. right? To be the God, the UN, the Holy Grail, and the Christ consciousness, right? The Holy Grail represents the portal and the tunneling effect through, the tunneling through of the Christ consciousness, that 33 bridge, right? The UN of B and G, and B is the 13, 6 is, G is the 6. It's also the C and the T, right, of the Christ consciousness to the top dog. And I'm writing in the air like like Megan Rose does. I don't usually do that, but I've been noticing myself doing that this week. The 6 of air and a peaceful ship coming in. I salute you. The Queen of Earth and the Fortune's Wheel and the King of Earth. After the Page of Wands, inspired, and it's making me cry. I salute you. It's coming from Iya, actually. Sorry. The Page of Wands inspired, the King of Cups, or Neptune and Poseidon, likes this little fish. He's coming in right now because it's talking about me. It's very sweet. The 6 of air, a peaceful ship coming in, as the Queen of Earth and Fortune's Wheel and the King of Earth. So here's the King and Queen. After the Page of Wands inspires the King of Cups, or Neptune, Poseidon, likes this little fish. So they took a closer look at his own inner child or children, like Pegasus. The Page of Cups, the little seahorse, or Pegasus. The fiery Scorpio, or did the King of Cups get between the Page of Wands and the Page of Cups? Did he get between his child's true love? But then the ship came in for the Queen of Pentacles, destined with the King of Pentacles, through a portal, or the looking glass. The dear ones, they say, or Libra comes in on that ship to get between the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, or a message of love that comes in to peaceful Queen of Pentacles from Libra, King of Pentacles here. We've only just begun to live, so many roads ahead. So again, so many paths that lead home. The King of Earth looks on, knowing what's been done. The Queen of Water here as well. Sheba came up. Latifa, or is that Viola again? My cloud picks of the beauty of her sadness. The Ocean Queen, and whose king deserted. So the 3 of Fire came up there, and the Queen of the Sea, so I looked up the Queen of the Sea, which was based on Queen Elizabeth I, exiled by her sister, Queen Mary. But it also came up as the Greek goddess, who is Poseidon's wife. So Amphitrite, or is that Amphitrite? I'm not sure how it's pronounced. And again, here we have the I am energy of am and then phi, which is the expansion and contraction, the reflecting in the middle. Again, the pressure on the pie, right? Squishing it, causing it to be more oval, with the line down the middle then being forced outside the lines. And then, I didn't break it down before, but then the T of the top dog and the right. I am drawing outside the lines, reaching for source, as it is my right. And again, the energy of the R of row, of reaching out, and the IT of the I am source, and then the one equal and congruent to. So again, that you are not less than source, you are a fractal of source, as we are all fractals of source coming together as one. But that you are not below source, you are source, to remember that. The Greek goddess and Nereid, the Queen of the Sea, the wife of Poseidon, the eldest of the 50 Nereids, how is it pronounced? Or Nereids, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. The mother or moaning of the fish, the seals, and the dolphins. She hid from him near the Atlas Mountains. And Delphin, again referencing the dolphins, and Philadelphia, which is city of brotherly or sisterly love, but that could be city of the dolphin love as well. Delphin is the one who brought her back from where she was hiding in the waters near Atlas to come back. She tracked him down And it was so weird that Delphin came up, because when I was out watering my plants, I had a Delphinius flower that died last year, and I was hoping it would come back again, because it's supposed to be a perennial. And so I was asking my plant yesterday, where's my Delphinius? And then Delphin came up in the message. So he tracked her down, Delphin tracked her down and convinced her to come back and marry him, or I don't know if he just brought her back. But they were depicted as riding in a chariot drawn by fish-tailed horses, or hippocampua, sometimes with a net on her hair, and brow adorned with crab claws, or crab claw horns. Amphis and Tris. The surrounding third, right, the third energy. Her son Triton was also known as the third, or of the sea, which was supposed to be the meaning of that, an implied meaning of that, knowing you are of emotion, of the vortices. The other places she is called the Oceanid. Looks like Aphrodite, except that she has the hairnet and claws on her forehead, and also is also always seen riding sea creatures, right? She's like the mother of the sea. So she's on Zeus's throne. Her depiction is also on Zeus's throne. And a high status, she's also depicted on Villa Albani and the coins of Syracuse. And this is coming up from Theoi.com, Theoi.com. The most beautiful depiction is supposed to be on the Arch of Augustus, as we're in August right now. And again, when we come in July and August, we have to think about Caesar, right? Julius Caesar and Augustus Caesar. And again, the most beautiful of her depictions on the Arch of Augustus at Rimini. Halo Sydney, so the halo spelled out halo, and then Sydne, the Seft, or the seaborn goddess. And the picture of the couple listed them as Herculaneum, C. 1st AD. So that was really cool. So Herculeum, so her harvest, 1 EM. The EU, of course, comes up as euphoric as well, but the euphoria of the co-creation of the sea. And of course, we're talking about Poseidon and his wife, right? The mother and father of the sea, and the 1st AD, after death, as we're dealing with the 80 days, the 2023 days after death. So Pegasus came up. So I wanted to go back into Pegasus again, which I talk about Pegasus a lot because he comes up a lot as that little seahorse, right? Who was kind of not seen by his father, right? He was birthed by another person, not his wife. So Pegasus was the child of Gorgon, Medusa, and Poseidon, and he had a brother, Chrysaor. They were birthed at her decapitation by Perseus. So Poseidon created Hippocrene, which is his home, a fountain garden type of energy, Mount Helicon, and constructed, he was captured by Bellerophon, and I was getting Bellatrix when I read Bellerophon, but Bellerophon's a masculine energy, near Fountain Pyrene, with Athena's help. And of course, I told you that for me, Athena's been coming up, aka Hercules, that she wanted to be the man her father always wanted her to be. And what other better way than to disguise herself as the younger son Hercules and become half human as well? Athena's help with Poseidon. And notice that Perseus is also part human. So Poseidon allows Bel to ride him to defeat the monster Chimera. But Bel later fell from his back trying to reach Mount Olympus, right, and got trouble with Zeus, or Enlil, per what Elena talks about. So Mount Olympus is coming up here as the mountain. where said to be, they were said to have both have died at the hands of Zeus for trying to reach Mount Olympus. He was stabled by Zeus, though, next to his thunderbolts. So he was charged with carrying them, and notice the charge energy, right, of the thunderbolts. So Pegasus was charged to carry his uncle's thunderbolts. Wherever he struck his hoof, they said about him, to the earth, an inspiring water spring would burst forth, right, the rose in the spring. Hippocrene was the horse spring. Perposeidon, and notice I always talk about Mr. Ed as being source energy. Perposeidon opened to prevent, so Pegasus, per Poseidon, advising them, was open to prevent the mountain swelling and rupture. So the springs were opened to prevent swelling within the mountain. At the Song of the Muses, right? When they got a rise from listening to the Muses song. So they created springs. They punctured a hole to let the water out. Drinking at the spring of Troezen, when Bel captured him. Birthed like Athena from Zeus's head, Pegasus from Medusa's. Bel got the bridle from Athena to tame Pegasus. So why did she give the bridle away to Bel to tame Pegasus? Well, Athena she's very smart, and she gave him to Perseus, who then flew to Ethiopia to help Andromeda, or Andromede. The day of his being, of his catastrophism, which is the constellation by Zeus, he's told to have had a single feather fall to earth near Tarsus. So notice the resemblance here to the divine masculine, all right? So Pegasus, ridden by Perseus to Ethiopia, right, the first people, and the single feather that fell to earth near Tarsus, which represents Taurus and the Taurus energy, the city of Tarsus, which was founded by Perseus, but it was supposed to be where his foot first dismounted to land after victory, which then would have been on his horse Pegasus, as they become the Sagittarius energy of the horseman. They become one. So just as Athena and spirits connecting with me, just as Athena becomes Hercules, Perseus and Pegasus come together to join forces. So the Queen of Cups, as the Three of Fire, hid near Atlas, the Eight of Fire, right? The Eight of Fire is coming up like, the woods under the water next to Atlas. So where she was hiding in the woods near the Atlas Mountains. And remember that the Atlas Mountains, part of the chain broke off from the United States chain of the Appalachians, okay? So they were separated over time. And this is also a bringing back together of the mountains here, perhaps having grown back together beneath the Atlas energy, or the forgiveness with the space between. The Eight of Fire of the woods, where she hid and then was brought back. And again, the 20 and backs are coming up as well. She used a shell boat as the mother of the sea to the underwater woods by Atlas. The Page of Wands and the Panda Bear, the childlike one with her teddy bear. Number 61 comes up here, of the Seven of Air. She of the birds, angelic and seen as the ugly duckling, with two doves who flew at her side. While the Emperor number 4 of the feline family, he considered himself Santa Claus of the sea. Were she a relative of Thoth? Perhaps she ran from Poseidon due to his brother Zeus. Where she felt for Pegasus, right, his bastard child, the horse of the sea, and freed him to pursue Mount Olympus on land, taking his chances with Zeus. The bird and Sirius lion, the feline, the iron ark, Pegasus at Atlas, And again, we talked about the Tor, which is the stone mountain, taking the rocky stone creation from the middle, right, the strongest part, right, the crystal diamond core, and bringing it to the top, the Tor. So the bird and cirrus lion, the feline, the iron arc, and Pegasus at Atlas. Interesting, with Perseus from Olympus to Africa and Ethiopia, which is then Atlas Mountains. So Hercules, Athena, and then Zeus's Perseus, both are half human. Athena and Pegasus are their alter egos. And again, the Pegasus being the seahorse. And Athena is the, which also can reference one, and Na, which is the reflection of An, one. So Athena is the reflection, it's where she's at now. Like him, again, what I said before, the masculine accepts her where she's at. And Pegasus is pegged as us, or the US. And again, the alter egos of Atlas and Pegasus energies coming up from Athena. So there's that Atlas mountain energy coming up again with Athena, that she is part of Atlas. At 633 then, which is the 33 Christ vibration, 33/6, the lovers, and then that higher vibration of 6, which is 33, the Christ vibration, and the underlying energy of being defenseless to offering, or ganged up on, or to get them to offer the Ace of Pentacles, the gold coin, or needed no excuse to offer them to the world a new life, or offering charity, or an offer they couldn't refuse, in order to end the pain of the X, the dance, the chi, the chromosome, or felt pushed to pay for information, clarity on the Ten of Swords upright and ending pain, perhaps lower back or in a painful ending, and left for dead by the medical examiner, or painful exam and took forever, or new information on a case and the hermit shedding new light, or painful advice all day and all night, exposing the deception at the new moon, or 717, which was the last new moon, where the North Node changed into Aries and Libra as we moved from Cancer to Leo, and again in 2 different directions. The Virgo and Leo upright and the Cancer reversed, or Hermit with Leo rising and the North Node with Cancer in chart. The deception of the fallen angel reversed, the magician reversed, and judges reversed, or the falling of the Dan, and Virgo and Leo upright, but Cancer, Sag, Gemini, and Aquarius are reversed here. Losing patience or temper, and up early or to bed really late, and insecure, or not having the tools, or using tools to manipulate and judge, to name call when choked, or the day the music died, the muse of the inner child, in a heated exchange, or block after block. Delay, and I was just getting blocks. When you don't step on the cracks, you'll break your mother's back. I don't know why that's coming up now. And again, the crack is the bridge. So again, the day the music died. Remember, the muses came up, that they poked holes in the mountains to make springs, to let go of the swelling that was created, the welling up of the eyes, right, because of the muse's song. They created springs to release the pressure. In a heated exchange, or block to block, delayed reaction, again poking holes in their story, as the Knight of Swords reversed, Aquarius energy, throwing slings and arrows at the wounded warrior, or kicking a dead horse when they're hung out to dry, or when they're down, and in limbo, to see the error of their ways. And then the Knight of Cups upright, offering love at the workplace or at school, with issues and injustices, and not sharing or scammed, perhaps unfair, and a gathering to socialize. When work is unstable, like, why are we putting out the money for this, for you guys to socialize, or maybe people just, chatting at work and not doing their work, or it's coming together to socialize and spending money on that, or a going away party, or going out drinking with friends on the way home and not telling anyone. This also could be moving with the 6 of the lovers and the 49, which is the 9 of cups, of getting your wish. Someone could be moving or visiting without telling, or going away party at work or school, a death, an ending, dark night, to the Emperor upright, right? The Lamb to Father Leap, leaving it all behind for a new path, perhaps a twin flame, who may offer, but also knowing that they may turn them down, as the Page of Wands reversed, right? The passion offer could be rejected by the Empress upright, and also could be the King of Cups Scorpio and the Emperor King of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands reversed, who got between the Emperor and the Empress, or the Empress was uninspired, so another got in there to make an offer to the Emperor, or offering the Emperor a partnership, perhaps on behalf of the Empress, because she will make the offer directly. So the Empress is upright with the Page of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, or the Empress invites the King of Pentacles, or the Empress and the King of Pentacles and their child, so the Page of Pentacles, are investing in ending a battle or group relationship in a bold move to move on, or bowling right through a crowd to get to their vehicle or their chariot, with a gig to get to, a performance, an act, or perhaps a serenade, or to woo the 10 of Pentacles reversed, to partner with them, or rushing into all must go and let's make a deal, going out of business post-war or virus, laying down of swords, to the 9 of Pentacles sovereign and the Fool set free, a hop, skip, and a jump, or 1, 2, 3 leap, in a leap of faith away from running, chasing, and detoxing, as the King of Wands reversed and the King of Swords reversed may be recovering here and getting out of a contract or codependencies, to align with the Ace of Wands and Ace of Cups both upright here, and not settling for one or the other, but wanting it all and coming full circle from the past falling out, or Chiron's return, or Divine Feminine, Pisces, and neighbor, with it all out there, taming the beast, or with their pet, or Pisces and pet, or child, or Leo stressed out, uncomfortable staying, or hanging out to get rid of everything, dumping multiple loads, or emotional attachments, or Eas, dreams dashed, no more delusions of grandeur, starting over and tunnelling through, to end an emotional cycle of the unhappy family life, and the Knight of Wands reversed player, or seen as the injured party in a divorce, and again remember the Knight of Wands is like Pegasus, or playing the part, or fell short on their end of the deal, as the 9 of Cups is upright here, and are they arrogant and stubborn, with Saggy and Taurus reversed, satisfied with themselves, and taking the Knight of Pentacles down, or the Knight of Pentacles reversed is blocking a release, or from fire to the frying pan, released from a bad marriage, perhaps into a spiritual group that didn't work out, and then the Knight of Pentacles reversed with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, releasing the injustice between them, or the Knight of Pentacles is unable to function and is released to the injustice or imbalance of the Queen of Pentacles reversed, healing from the past with X or a breakup, or Gemini, Queen of Swords reversed, and the Page of Swords upright, stepping up to bat to make things right, or give them what they have in order to find peace, and that was at 718, which is the Chariot and the Moon, or willing to make repairs until they have peace. No peace with the Tower energy yesterday of the 16 upright, or Gemini and Libra women healing and a disappointment or lack of affection when the Page of Swords or message came in, the pièce de résistance, or cutting them all off together, or cutting them all off altogether, a sudden event, an epiphany, blowing their top, their crown, their mind, suddenly wide awake, or all arguing all night, or 2 women talking all night, or kicked everyone out for waking them from sleep that they desperately needed to get their work done, or the alarm goes off to another day of slave labor, or the King of Pentacles with the weight of the world at 728 of the Chariot and the Twin Flames. So then the wheel was reversed. Things weren't going in their favor, as we had the I'm trying to think who was in the underlying energy. I think it was the In the last row is the King of Pentacles in the underlying energy. I can't remember, or it was Atlas. And then the wheel was reversed, and then the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups were both upright. But in the other row, the King of Wands and Queen of Pentacles were there upright together as well. So there's like these two couples, and the Emperor and the Empress could be a third couple actually, so it could have been referencing a big family as well. But the wheel was reversed, wasn't going in their favor, pushing and pushing and not getting anywhere, at the mercy of the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups, not talking to each other, or carrying too much weight in a twist of fate, in front of the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups, where the Page of Cups reversed was rejected, or shy, or is that a baby crying, or is this an entitled, spoiled child, or has to go to work and be on for patience, or the quiet one, the sister, the aide and the nurses, or rejected child who moves on to the higher self, the High Priestess, Pisces or Virgo, perhaps a dream come true. Perhaps parents disown them if they go with her, with the Queen of Wands reversed demanding the truth or their crown, perhaps demanding their head on a platter, but the High Priestess or higher self is over it and taking off for the stars, like not wanting to deal with that lower energy. Perhaps the Page of Cups reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed feel rejected. Perhaps they're sick and tired, or spoiled children demanding the truth, demanding attention from the High Priestess, who's unwilling to feed into any negative behavior. And that's kind of like too, like the principle of feeding people on the street. Like if they're just being kind into themselves, and there's no, they're not trying to harm you or push you to do anything you don't want to do, of course you want to give to someone. But if a homeless person comes up to you and is aggressive and demanding that you feed them, if it's 1:44 on the clock, it's not something you want to do. But you also don't want to react to them and feed into that fire, right? You wait for that. You don't stoop down to that lower level. You wait for them to rise up to your energy level. So again, the High Priestess unwilling to feed into negative behavior here, having healed and knowing all the work that went into that healing, shining her light and balancing her waters. Or the Page of Cups reversed brings good news to sister, or decides to come their way, but perhaps without telling them, and again assuming that they'd be happy to see him when maybe that wasn't the case, as the High Priestess perhaps ignores them. Perhaps the owl, or no, it's not the owl, it's the Queen of Wands reversed gets mad, but the owl may be coming up there too. Maybe they think they know better, right? Someone else who thinks they know better than you do about your own self. So that energy of the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles upright, perhaps they're taking care of the Page of Cups reversed. And maybe the King and Queen of Pentacles are getting between the King and Queen of Cups and their child. Maybe they're spoiling the grandchild, right? So the Queen of Cups could be mad at the King of Cups for being more interested in the Page of Wands than his own son, or has a child with another woman. Perhaps grandparents are in the way, or disowning the Page of Cups reversed if they go with somebody else, or making them, both the Page of Cups and the Queen of Wands reversed, go see the High Priestess or sister or aide or nurse and tell them the truth to make her feel better, or to help her heal, or to make her dreams come true. The eagle soars, waiting for sweet soul to rise, as the King of Pentacles carries the burden. Perhaps the Queen and King of Pentacles and a new child and his brother or friend, the King of Cups, agrees to babysit, but didn't ask the Queen of Cups first, focused on maintaining her own emotions and or kids. Or the King of Pentacles may be okay, but struggling with a new child and all the work. So the Queen of Cups and King of Cups come to help them with the Page of Cups reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed. Or they come to help, but then the other children, the Page of Cups and the Queen of Wands reversed, left without a sitter, and perhaps asking their sister to come, or the Page of Cups approaches like there's good news to bring to the High Priestess, but then the Queen of Wands reversed actually tells them the whole truth of it to help them get over it or heal or be able to dream again. Or the rejection was actually a blessing in disguise, as the Queen of Wands reversed took their crown to make themselves feel better. with Virgo, Aquarius, Sag, and Libra reversed, fire and water, perhaps Pisces or Cancer, and a lot of Aries in this read here with the Aries and North Node. And then my pen started to run out in this section here. So despite being the patient angel, a dream, in fact, or a dream trip that was canceled, or perhaps something that was promised to a child or partner and can no longer do because perhaps they don't have that money anymore because of what's happened over the past few years, or perhaps walking away and no gift for the Queen of Cups, or burdened by the slowdown and new passion of perhaps the rejection in a heated exchange, or perhaps a spoiled child, or this is a new baby crying constantly and now can't handle it, or again, a spoiled child demanding their way in a heated exchange with the King of Cups upright and or the Queen of Cups, or the past and the Queen of Cups looking back at an argument, perhaps not accepted by the Emperor, seen as a risk, maybe seen as the Emperor not fitting in their world or their family. The snake rising in the Emperor as the Christed flame, and judgment of the angel and the hanging man, and the 5D station way above the mountain range. The Emperor afraid that they won't fit, the black sheep of the family, so to speak. And I was just going to Ishtar again as well, and the star. I was going to Ishtar though. Or the Emperor and the Empress are protecting the Page of Wands reversed from the Page of Cups reversed. Maybe they think they know better than the kids know about each other. Maybe they love each other. Or Scorpio or Dark Knight, or the Empress is playing favorites with one child over the other. And the King of Pentacles, perhaps there's a big family here. Oh, and it was so weird too. I was watching something last night, and as soon as they said in the show, woke up from a coma, both my iPad and my phone lit up at the same time. It was weird. I just noticed it out of my peripheral vision because I was just, watching. So there is this awakening, right? There is a heart that has awakened here, come out of a coma, a deep sleep. So now just back to the one on the table as we're at 212 on the dot, right? 212, right? The 2 conceiving with the 1 in the middle. 2 conceiving of the 1 in the middle, that they can be one, right? The 2 children have been conceived and connected to source in the middle. And again, the 2 C's with the dot in the middle with space between, which then creates the X, which is the hourglass in between the infinity symbol. So let's go back to the read on the table. And this one was done at 6:59 when I cut the deck. Is that right? I just want to make sure I'm at the right one. Yeah, okay. So at 6:59, and here is the read on the table. The SIRIAN Starseed deck is the main deck, and then clarified by the Rider-Waite mini. So this was cut at 6:59, again the 11th hour before 7. And 7 is also the calm before the storm. And I finished clarifying at 7:11, which is the Chariot and the 11 of Justice, Truth and Balance. And again, Judges coming up as well, the Dan tribe. And the energy of the star seeds came up here, and then the higher self and indigo as the major arcana. Before the read, the Tower came up, as well as abundance, which is Mother Nature, the 3 of the Empress, which has been coming up nonstop in this read, as well as the Tower that came up yesterday. The star seed is the one, getting hit in the head, waking up with a new start, a fresh start. The higher self and the indigo energy, which is proposing a diamond here. With 4 cups, 2 wands, 1 sword, and 1 pentacle, which is the 42 of the 2 of cups, and the 11 of alignment, truth and justice, balance. And then the Nine of Wands was in the read, or is before the read. Nope. The Nine of Wands is in the read, in the center of the read. The Nine of Pentacles was prior to the read. The Knight of Swords is in the read as the challenge, and then the King of Cups is also in the read. The Knight of Wands is after the read, which is that Pegasus energy. As far as the numbers, we had triple fours, which is the angelic realms, and then 2 8s, 2 9s, and 2 10s. So 8, 9, 10 begin again, which is also going from the 7, 8, 9 to the 10, 11, 12, which is this focusing on the 5D, 6D energies, or 50s and 60s, and then the 80s also came up, 80. So triple fours is also 12. The angelic realms, the 88 of the two twins dancing side by side within their own masculine and feminines, the 99 of compassion, again, never getting near the end, the 10-10 of that high vibration. We also have here the 45, which is the 5 of cups, the 12 of the hanging man, the 24 of the Queen of Wands, Omega, the 57 of the 3 of Swords, and the separation, and then the 78 of the 10 of Pentacles, which can be heaven on earth, and so on. Also 48, which is the walking away within. So the code line here, and again, pinch me, pinch the middle, right? That's where the energy is, the middle, that source energy, pinching at the source. And again, I'm getting on a treasure hunt. X marks the spot. 3 lines down and a question mark. And again, at your waist, where you pinch right there at the solar plexus, with a pinch and a squeeze and a tropical breeze. Bloody Marys, Bloody Marys, Bloody Marys, and gotcha. And again, I forget what they're called, but it's like the Poseidon's, whatchamacallit, but on either end, right, the pitchfork, the trident. So it's on either end, and I have one of those little things that you hold, it's like a weight, but like it's a ninja type weapon type of energy as well. But again, it's the energy of the open and closed circuit, right? It both opens and closes using the energy from the middle, from source. And again, referencing the infinity symbol, and look at the picture I posted on Instagram of the pregnant woman connected to the Atlas energy of the weight of the world is that same energy, because their head is the circle in the middle, right? And then the world is either end, her body and the weight that he carries on his shoulders. So we have the code line here is all about the number 25, again, Pegasus with the Knight of Wands, the 2, the 19, and the 4. And the Pegasus, the Knight of Wands in this deck is the one with the slow burn, and he's right here, which I'll show you in a second. Let me just pull that out before I forget to do that. All right, so here's that energy of the passion with a slow burn, right? So it's not a red or orange candle. Notice it's a yellowish white flame, right? A slow burning Knight of Wands. And notice the royal lineage there with the purples and the yellows. So the energy from the code line, I just got 2 messages from that. The house of the moral man. I'm just getting Enki again here too, with the moral man between. Powering up on high. So the house of the moral man powering up on high, too high. The 19 suns, and the Knight of Swords, Sophia, for Christ of Cups. And cups has to do with the emotions. The emotional Christ, right? We're talking about Christ and Sophia. So the masculine is getting emotional here. The Knight of Swords is the Sophia, the feminine. So her inner sun, 2 on high, with the 19 suns. The Knight of Swords, Sophia, for Christ of Cups. To be in your power, too high, to go to the heights, on high, of the 1 to 9, right? And we talked about that energy of 1 to 9 really quickly, or in that slow burn to ground it into our world, to make this heaven on earth. That's why they were saying that. Because if you do that quick passage back and forth, you're not bringing that energy down to earth. So we had to go really slowly to allow the bridge to fill in as we go. From 1 to 9, the Knight of Swords. It was coming up as S4N, which N for me is symbol for Christ. So it's that Christos Sophia energy with the 4 or the lambda leap in the middle. The lambda leap south to north of emotions, but weaving back and forth instead of going straight up and down. So the 5 of Cups reversed, and beneath that is the Tower upright, the 8 of Swords reversed, the 10 of Pentacles upright, the 9 of Pentacles upright, and then the Abundance or the Empress reversed. So the Tower is upright, which was yesterday's energy of sudden events, epiphanies, right? That could be sexual exchange as well. Or a release and coming out of hiding of the 10 of Pentacles and 9 of Pentacles, both upright, which is that heaven on earth energy, both being independent and part of this abundant family. The Empress reversed with news of the Empress reversed when that got out. Getting over a loss or regret, the past, or perhaps someone who just gave birth. The Fool free from the King of Cups upright with kind words, healing with synchronicities and rising above at 844, which is the 8 dance, and then the 44 of Hercules and her harvest, the 4 of Cups of grounding, integrating, and learning how to receive love. And that's a self-love energy. Getting over it as the Knight of Pentacles reversed dropped the ball with the Page of Cups reversed. Both lost their power and went soft or no balls. Two-step or sidestepping, tap dancing around issues. As the Page of Cups reversed is getting over it, the recent past is the Ace of Pentacles upright, the groundbreaking plant, the diamond in the rough. The Queen of Pentacles reversed with the 10 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles upright, and the Sun reversed, or just draining. The Queen of Pentacles reversed may be ungrounded here as part of a upright, wealthy family or group. That can be a group, family, or community, or a legacy. So the actual legacy or group or family is very positive here and abundant. But the Queen of Pentacles is ungrounded or draining them, or perhaps, perhaps spending some of that energy or money, as the Sovereign is upright, perhaps drained by kids or secret passion, in need of a vacation, with Leo and Pisces both reversed, triggered, dumped, or pushed to the limit, an energetic exchange or the arrows of love, with the Ace of Wands reversed, which could be someone trying to force their way in there, which can be some kind of abuse, whether it's physical or sexual abuse, or just a lack of arousal here, or unable to conceive or conceive of something, with the Queen of Cups upright. And again, if someone just gave birth, this could be someone who's having trouble getting pregnant, could also be resentful of the someone and not happy for them having given birth. And again, it's calling us to rise to a higher love. Again, no sex, no love here. Emotional or sexual abuse, or a lot of back and forth or overwhelm and frustration between the 9 of Pentacles upright and the Queen of Cups upright. The foundation of the 2 of Wands upright and the Queen of Wands upright and the Wheel reversed. The Hierophant upright and the Star upright. And the Queen of Wands, in a twist of fate, commits to the star, to their dreams, to their healing modality. With Libra reversed and Taurus and Aquarius upright, choosing a path or choosing a doctor or institution after a birth, or not getting their first pick, not getting their dream contract, but then again can't complain. As the center energy is the 9 of Wands, wounded warrior, right? Having worked really hard for a very long time, but also holding on to their wounds instead of letting go, on guard, uncomfortable with the world upside down, or uncomfortable being in 5D, or the Queen of Cups Pisces, sharing their burdens with the Page of Wands reversed and the King of Swords upright, or sharing or slaving for one who rejected them. The challenge being the Knight of Swords, passing the 5D messenger, or passing the 5D messages, but it could be a workplace celebration. Perhaps it's unfair to the fallen angel or the one who's weak and needing to fix up the place or make amends. with Libra, Saggy, Leo reversed, Capricorn upright, the divine masculine coming out of the bat cave, and the divine feminine out of the E tower, tempted by the Knight of Swords, perhaps defending themselves. And is that, yeah, they could be defending themselves. The Knight of Swords is upright. And now the Four of Cups is upright with the new information about a release. And given a choice about the Page of Pentacles reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed, or their restitution, to give the Ace of Pentacles, or their big time, money, and energy, or offer of a new life. This can be the gold coin. They're being told to give this to the Emperor reversed, who may toy with them or make them, and again, not wanting to, you know, put your tail between your legs and approach the Emperor, right? Because you know that he probably can talk you out of anything, or talk you into things, or play with your mind, right? Because they're very good with their words and their power. But the Emperor's reversed here, who may toy with them or make them face their worst fears. And soon here's the Starseed upright, the Knight of Swords knocked for a loop, and still got right back up, or two fighting others off when they got hit on the head, or a big download came in, taking on the Magician reversed and his things in a disagreement, a disconnect, a distance, or this could be an instigator here at 926, right? You don't, the Magician reversed, at least is just someone who's insecure, but at worst can be a major manipulator. So the Starseeds may be standing up to others and taking the high ground without stooping down to that lower level. The Twin Flames and Higher Self reversed. Left behind, that could be a secret passion as well. Feeling destitute or stressed out, unable to sleep, or a nightmare with the King of Pentacles and King of Wands both upright, in a sudden event with the Nine of Wands wounded warrior getting hurt in an explosion or fire, or collecting information from awakened one, perhaps a PI, or PI information taken, or a thief, to catch a thief in the night, woke them up perhaps out of a deep sleep. A lack of integrity or telling secrets, or other self with the same information. Pisces or Virgo reversed, Scorpio upright here, and Cappy reversed. Perhaps the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands upright witnessed some epiphanies or underhanded dealings, or two kicked out, but it wasn't them who did it. Around the twins are how they're seen as the King of Cups upright with affections for the Empress reversed, perhaps at work, or this can be lovers, a Gemini or twin. The Empress reversed may be aligning or catching up to look back with the Queen of Swords reversed and the King of Cups upright. This also could be King of Cups with their lawyer, Queen of Swords reversed, and the Empress reversed. Perhaps divorce details. Maybe that's her lawyer trying to get the King of Cups to pay attention to get this done. Perhaps divorce details, or to work out a payment plan. The block is the Indigo reversed, or messenger of truth needing to make an offer or proposal. The Seven of Cups is upright in the stairway to heaven, spiraling up and taking steps with many choices on the way. The Knight of Cups reversed may be jealous or feeling rejected about a falling out in the past with dark night, or loss of a friend to death perhaps. And that could be a near-death experience as well. As divided about stepping up to the plate, or in a split responding about a break and losing it, or coming out now that the worst is over to bring good news and move to peace with the Knight of Wands reversed in energetic exchange, or just a lot of back and forth or arrows of love with the Four of Wands reversed, which is an unstable situation. Perhaps about an unhappy family with the Four of Wands reversed and the Ten of Cups reversed. And then the Four of Pentacles reversed, divine masculine, coming out of the bat cave to make things right, to be happy with themselves, to get their wish, to be alone perhaps, without the Ten of Cups reversed, ending the cycle. With the Ten of Pentacles upright and the Nine of Pentacles upright, and the Empress reversed, getting over loss of a choice or twin flame. That can also, like I said, be someone, it could be a mother who passed, or a grandmother, it can be someone who just gave birth. She could be ill, right? It could be a mother who's ill. But again, getting over a loss or choice of twin flame, no longer keeping to themselves or keeping secrets or holding secrets, hiding them. As the King of Cups is upright, offering a new life to the Nine of Wands wounded warrior, challenged by the Knight of Swords, messenger of truth, and a fresh start, in need of tools, or insecure and alone, disillusioned, wishing upon a star and a stairway to heaven, with the Knight of Wands reversed back and forth, with this unstable family, with the Divine Masculine coming out. The Ten of Pentacles and Nine of Pentacles and the Empress reversed offers a new life. It's like the family's offering this. The Empress reversed doesn't want to offer, right? Because maybe she still feels hurt, or she's not doing well, or maybe this is the legacy of the Empress reversed. Offers a new life, or a big offer to the twin flame, or choice to be the victim, challenged by the Knight of Swords, deliverance. Grounding, integrating, and mastering love with a secret passion, with a fresh new start and a big download. The King of Cups upright and Indigo reversed, perhaps withdrawing an offer of options to the to the Knight of Wands reversed in exchange for the Four of Wands, Ten of Cups reversed, and the Four of Pentacles reversed, for that in exchange for them to get out. So the King of Cups may take back a proposal of options that were given to the Knight of Wands reversed, right? The player falling short, or the one that fell off the wagon, in order to help instead the Divine Masculine get out of this bad situation. So instead of giving what they were going to give to the Knight of Wands reversed, and that could be feeding into their addictions as well, because right, they can both be the Divine Masculine, the Knight of Wands reversed and the Four of Pentacles reversed. So instead of giving, maybe they promised to give them something, or they made an offer to give them money or time, energy for one thing, but then they come back and say, you know what, it would really be better placed. I still need it, but if you could do the same thing, but do it for this instead. And this is to help him get out of this family situation. So very interesting. Or they could be two separate people where it was supposed to go to one, but then convinced to give it to the other instead. All right, so let's wrap things up here at 2:31:55 as we go into 2:32, which is today. There we go. 02:32. 02:32. And again, 232 is the road that goes to New Hope. So there's your message, and it's 2:09 on the clock, which is the space between the 2 of the Divine Feminine and the 9 of the All. So instead of the 1 in the All, it's the 2 in the All, the space between. Because 2 come together. I just changed to 210, source support of the feminine and masculine of the whole, the world of coming together in a whole new world. This just flew out ever so gently. And remember the owl came up? It wasn't really the owl, but it looked like that. So here's the wisdom of the 23 of this year, 2023, and the King of Wands, of learning how to balance your passions or that anger or that hurt energy. There are spiritual messages and great wisdom to be found during this period of transition. And remember, the owl is the O of the human embodiment of source, the W of the 2 U's, that can also be co-creation, and then the L of that leap, the bridge. The human co-creation bridge, right? So you've been creating this bridge to make it permanent, to create, there's the bridge, the hand holding until the bridge is cemented between the 3D and the 5D. And then there's the celebration, right? The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, the other side of the bridge. And hand holding on the bridge. And again, Steve and Miranda are coming up on the bridge. Miranda writes the judgment card, and the judge is the Dan tribe coming up here too, the 14 of the patient angels, right? Where the heart squared becomes the open book, right? The living library of the heart. And creating the bridge through hand holding, through folding in upon each other, right? Inside out and upon each other. The wisdom of the 3D of the King of Wands, learning how to manage his passions, going back and forth between the 3D and 5D. Here's the 5 and the 3, to 3, 3, 4, and then 5. right? And the 3-4 is the back and forth, going back and forth across the bridge. And here's the gift, the ash, the bow on top of the light, the bright light coming out, the celebrations, that you are ready to bring new and exciting things into your life. This is a beautiful package right here. Really beautiful. And the wish, this is sitting in my lap. I don't know if that was the next card, but I got to show it to you. There's the Wounded Warrior. Center card in the read, the Wounded Warriors, the 35. Right? Their heart all lit up, becomes a living library, an open book, where then the masculine wakes up to his own knowing. Your heart's desire is ready to come true. And there is the bridge being solidified and solid so that you can, that cord is now cemented, that symbol of Pisces for the twins. Wow, guys. Thank you, everyone who came through today. Ia, so much. And Mr. and Mrs. Poseidon, Pegasus and Athena, all those energies, thank you. Whew. All right, you guys. So remember your water, your rest, your joy, your nature, your heart, your breath, and rise and be love. Love and rise. It's in your eyes. I'll see you guys. There's just 35, the Wounded Warrior, which is the center card again. I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.